The night sky over New Berlin was clear. The stars blinked quietly, and the moon hung low like a giant, cold eye. Everything seemed normal, peaceful, but peace is sometimes just a shadow before chaos. Far above Earth, a satellite captured strange movement, 3 dark objects entering the atmosphere. They were fast, silent, and didn't appear on radar. The satellite tried to follow them. But suddenly, the feed cut off. Static. No signal. At the same time, inside the city of New Berlin, people went on with their lives. Lights glowed from windows. Music played in clubs. Children laughed in homes. No one knew what was coming. Last message at 2:12 a.m. The city's control center received a brief message from a drone flying over the outer zone. The message was only 4 seconds long. Something's coming. Not birds, not static. No one took it seriously. Strange radio signals had happened before. Maybe it was just a bird strike. Maybe a software bug. An engineer, Mira Patel, working the night shift, made a note of the glitch but didn't report it. She had been awake for 19 hours and needed coffee more than warnings. By 2:15 a.m., all communication from New Berlin was lost. Phones, internet, electricity gone. Every screen went black. No alarms, just silence. A boy named Arrington kilometers from the city, in a quiet village, lived a 13-year-old boy named Aaron Vale. He was awake, standing by his window. He often watched the stars before sleeping. He liked the way they didn't move. The stars made him feel safe. But tonight, something moved. 3 glowing lights flew over the hills. They weren't planes. Too fast. Too quiet. No sound at all. Just silent light. Aaron blinked. The lights disappeared behind the trees, heading toward New Berlin. Then the ground shook. His glass of water fell. His lamp flickered. Seconds later, a bright flash filled the sky like a second sun, silent and massive. It burned orange, then white. Then nothing. No sound. No shockwave, just gone. The city, the lights, the sky all dark. Owen stared out the window. His heart raced. He knew something bad had happened. But he didn't know how big it was. Government reaction by morning. Earth's Global Command Center. UN's Sea Atlas declared a Level 5 blackout over the New Berlin zone. All flights were canceled. News stations were told to report it as a solar flare incident. But not everyone believed that. General Marcus Lane, an old war veteran, reviewed the satellite feed. He saw the flash, the missing city, and the last 4 seconds of that radio signal. He knew this wasn't nature. This wasn't human error. We didn't lose a signal, he said. We lost a city. He ordered Unit Echo 7, a small special ops team, to fly out immediately. Their mission: land near New Berlin, find survivors, and identify the cause. But deep inside, Marcus feared the truth. The ash zone Echo 7 landed on the outskirts of the impact zone. The land looked burned, but not like from fire. It looked melted. Trees had turned to stone. Cars were twisted into shapes like toys. No bodies. No bones. No blood. Everything was just gone. The team moved carefully, wearing protective suits. The leader, Captain Lyra Shaw, scanned the area. There's no heat, she said. No radiation, no biological traces. One of her team members, Duke, picked up something from the ground. Captain ... This is a phone. It's fused to the rock. No signs of heat damage, but it's like it became part of the ground. They found roads that ended in nothing. Buildings turned to sand. A playground slide half melted into the earth. And still no people. Then Duke's scanner beeped. There's something underground. The hidden door. The scanner showed a metal structure 20 meters below. Echo 7 used a ground drill to break through. Beneath the layers of ash and rock, they found a steel door, ancient, rusted, and sealed. Words were written across it, almost unreadable. Project Titanus, do not wake. Captain Shaw frowned. This is not part of any known database. Number. Record of this facility. Looks old. Maybe 200 years, Duke said. Pre-Earth War era? They opened the door slowly. Cold air rushed out. The inside smelled of iron and dust. Lights flickered weakly. Something was still powered. They walked down a long, narrow hallway. Old computers lined the walls. Most were dead, but one was blinking. A green light. The screen displayed one word. Sleeping. Captain Shaw approached the console. As she touched it, the screen changed. Life form detected. Protocol restarting. Reboot in 30 seconds. Wait, she shouted. Something's waking. Up? But it was too late. The first pulse deep below the ground, giant machines began to stir. Pipes hissed. Old gears turned. A massive chamber opened slowly, revealing something big. Something human-shaped, but not human. A figure 10 feet tall, made of black armor and deep red lights. It didn't move, but its chest pulsed like a heartbeat. Boom. 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 The heartbeat echoed through the ground. Outside. The sky darkened. Arn, still in his village, looked up. Birds were flying away in strange patterns. The animals were silent. His mother called him, but he didn't hear. He heard the sound in the ground. Boom. Boom. The pulse was reaching everywhere. The drones. I back at you, NSC command. General Lane received a final message from a recon drone flying over the destroyed city. The drone's video showed the empty streets, the ash, the melted buildings. Then, it focused on a crater. Inside, something was glowing. A shadow moved huge and slow. The video cut to black. Then, audio came through. A low voice. One word. Awakened. The final scene. Captain Shaw stood frozen. The machine in front of her had opened its eyes. 2 red lights. No pupils. No expression. But they stared straight into her. It moved one hand. Sparks flew. The lights in the hallway exploded. The facility shook. Outside. The sky cracked with lightning, though there were no clouds. Arn watched the horizon. A giant shadow stood at the edge of the destroyed city. And then. The wind whispered one word, though no one spoke it. Giant. The lights inside the old facility were still flickering. Captain Lyra Shaw stood frozen, staring into the glowing red eyes of the massive figure in front of her. This was not a man. This was not a machine. It was something between both. Something forgotten. And now awake. Her voice shook as she spoke. Duke, are you seeing this? Behind her, the soldier stood silently, camera recording everything. His hand gripped his weapon tightly. I see it, Captain, he whispered. What the hell is that thing? The tall figure didn't move much. It stood still, as if listening to something only it could hear. The walls vibrated. The air felt heavier, like a storm was coming, but from underground. The machine's chest glowed with a soft red light. A single word appeared on the old monitor. Cycle beginning. Captain Shaw stepped back slowly. We need to leave now. Trouble above ground. Back. On the surface, the remaining Eco-7 team waited inside the landing ship. The pilot, Sergeant Rice, watched the readings on his screen. Suddenly, the screen blinked. Static lines. Then black. The radio crackled. A PTA in. Shaw. Come in. Rice tried to respond. Captain, you're breaking up. But only. Static returned. Then he saw it. A pulse on the radar. Something big, moving underground toward the ship. Shit. He jumped from the seat and ran out. Everyone, get ready for evac. Something's moving under us. The soldiers outside grabbed their weapons, confused. What do you mean? But before anyone could speak, the ground beneath the ship cracked. A wave of dust shot up. The ship tilted. From below, a loud metal sound echoed. Boom, boom. It was the same rhythm heard back in the facility. Then silence. And then, a massive clang from underneath. The ship's floor tore open. and a metal hand punched through twice the size of a man's body. Screams followed. The awakening deepens down below. Captain Shaw's team was already running. Duke stayed close, his flashlight shaking in his hand. "This thing's not friendly, is it?" he asked. "No," Shaw replied. "It's not." Behind them, the figure slowly started walking. Each step shook the hallway. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lights burst. They reached the surface tunnel exit. The sound behind them grew louder. They climbed up a steep shaft, hoping the emergency ladder would hold Dot as they reached the top. Shaw slammed the emergency door shut. For a moment, it was quiet. Then the door behind them bent, just slightly. The thing below was still coming. The last drone at the UNSC Global Command Center. General Marcus Lane watched the screens in silence. The drone feed had returned for only 90 seconds. It showed the last view of the destroyed city, but this time there was sound, a long deep humming. Like a machine warming up. And then, voices. Alien voices. They spoke in clicks and tones, but the translation AI picked up part of it. Tied to ANUS. Activated. The Earth Core Guardian is online. We failed to neutralize it. New plan. Cleanse they. Zone. General Lane frowned. What's tightness? He asked. No one in the room answered. No one knew. He leaned forward. Open every black archive file. I want every mention of that name. Right now. Aaron's discovery far away, in the peaceful village outside the city ruins. Young Aaron Vale couldn't sleep. The sound, the pulsing vibration, had returned. He could feel it in the ground, in his chest, in his bones. He stepped outside. It was night again. He walked quietly into the forest behind his house, holding a small flashlight. He didn't know why. But he felt something calling him. The trees were quiet. Too quiet. No owls, no insects. Just wind. Then he saw a dot in the ground was a large stone, old, flat, and strange. Symbols glowed on its surface, red and shifting. He touched it. The ground pulsed. And suddenly, images filled his mind fire. Machines, a war, and a giant falling into sleep. Aaron fell to his knees. The glowing mark on his hand began to appear. The same red glow as Titan used. Back to the crater. Captain Shaw's team, finally, reached the edge of the blast zone, now called the crater. Nothing remained of the city. Only smooth glass, twisted shapes, and dust. Shaw opened her comms channel again. This is Echo 7 leader to Atlas Command. We have a situation. Something has awakened. It's not alien, it's ours. General Lane's voice returned. No. Return to base immediately. Do not engage. I repeat, do not engage. But Shaw paused. I don't think it's up to us anymore. Behind her, a loud sound came from the crater's center. The dust rose. A shape rose from below, taller than a building. Titanus stood there, its armor cracked but glowing, its head scanning the area. Then it looked at her. Directly. She felt it not through sound, but inside her thoughts. Recognition. Complete. The machine remembered her. Alien arrival high above Earth. Another ship entered orbit. It was not human. Black, smooth, and silent. It didn't glow. It didn't blink. Inside were 3 alien commanders. Insectoid, tall, and armored. They watched the Earth through curved screens. Unit Titanus has reawakened. Cleansing protocol failed, one said. Another responded. We must erase the old war memory before he remembers what he truly is. The third added, prepare the seed bomb. Let Earth fall with him. The ship descended slowly, hiding behind the moon. Earth didn't know yet. Back at base, Captain Shaw's team returned to base camp just before nightfall. But something had changed. They were all quiet. No jokes, no laughter. Everyone felt it, even. The wind seemed different. Shaw sat inside the briefing tent with Duke and the pilot. Rice, she stared at the data they had collected. Footage, sensor logs. Heat maps. Pulse recordings. She finally spoke. We didn't just wake up an old weapon. She said, we woke up something that was never supposed to wake up again. Duke asked quietly, you think he's human? Shaw looked at him. I think ... he used to be. Aaron's visitor that night, as Ern sat in his room, his door creaked open. No one was there. He looked out the window. A shape stood near the tree. Line, tall, dark, still. He stepped outside slowly. Barefoot. The shape didn't move. Then it spoke, not out loud, but inside his head. You carry the mark. You called me. Aaron didn't understand. Who? What are you? Titanus. Earth's last defense. Buried by fear. Forgotten by time. The air felt colder. Aaron's hand glowed again. Titanus stepped into the moonlight. Even scarred and cracked, it looked powerful. I heard your mind. You remembered the war one forgot. What? War? Aaron asked. Titanus looked toward the stars. The one that never ended. The final broadcast. UNSC's last operational drone flew high above the crater. Its camera zoomed in on Titanus and Aaron. The footage showed a human boy, standing in front of a giant machine. Then it cut to static. Seconds later, a strange signal played, a deep, alien voice translated by AI. He is awake, he remembers. We must erase the planet. The stars above Earth were calm, silent. But something terrible was coming. The alien ship, large and black like a shadow, had hidden itself behind the moon. Inside, the alien commanders watched Earth carefully. Their mission was clear. Destroy Titanus. Cleanse the planet. No mistakes this time. A secret long buried in a cold mountain bunker deep under UNSC command. General Marcus Lane stood in front of a giant sealed vault. The door had not been opened in 75 years. 2 guards waited behind him. Beside Marcus was Dr. Helen Voss, a historian. Of ancient wars. You really believe Titanus was part of an Earth project? She asked. Marcus nodded. Not a project. A last hope. He placed his hand on the scanner. The vault unlocked. Inside, old paper files, rusty hard drives, and hologram units lined the walls. Dr. Voss picked up a folder marked Project TITANUS, classified. It was handwritten. Her eyes widened. It says he wasn't built. He was found. Aaron's questions back in the quiet forest. Aaron Vale stood in front of Titanus, the giant who now stood tall like a mountain. Though silent, the machine seemed alive. Aaron's hand still glowed red. He looked up. What do you mean? The war never ended? Titanus slowly turned his head, scanning the forest, his voice low, deep, and inside Aaron's mind. Long ago, before your nations, Earth was at war. Not with each other, with them. He pointed toward the stars. They came in silence. They erased cities, but we resisted. And I was born from that fight. Born? Not like you. I was created through mind and metal. But I once had a human heart. I was more than machine. Arn blinked. So you're part human? Titanus was quiet for a moment. I was. Then they took everything from me. I was the last to fall. And they buried me, hoping I would never wake. New threat in orbit back in space. The alien ship launched a device small and glowing green. It moved fast toward Earth's surface, heading straight for the center of the destroyed city. This was the seed bomb. Its mission: grow a virus that would melt the planet from the core. Titanus reacts as the device entered Earth's airspace. Titanus turned his head toward the sky. They're here. Un looked up, seeing nothing. What do we do? Titanus's armor began to glow brighter. I was built to fight, but I need time. Time to remember. Time to become what I was. He looked at Arn. I need you. Me? The boy said. I'm just a kid. You carry the mark. That means your blood is old, connected. You are a key. Arn felt his hand burn. The red glow formed a circle and a symbol inside it. 3 points like a triangle. Titanus kneeled slightly. Place your hand on my chest. Help me wake fully. Arn stepped forward, nervous. The giant was still and waiting. He placed his hand on the glowing core, and everything changed. Memory. Reboot inside Titanus's mind. Arn saw flashes. Not images, memories. He saw burning skies. Metal titans marching. Alien ships falling. A giant army of machines. Titanus leading them. Then defeat. Betrayal. Titanus locked underground. And finally darkness. The vision ended. Titanu stood tall. The red glow turned gold. I remember. His voice was stronger now. Mechanical and human mixed. I am Titanus, Earth's shield. Humanity's last guardian. Atlas Command prepares back at UNSC Command. Alarms rang. Object detected entering Earth. A technician yelled. Seed bomb, General Lane muttered. They're cleansing the planet. Dr. Voss stood beside him, holding the Titanus file. We have one chance, she said. If he's really awake, he can stop it. General Lane turned to his communication officer. Open a direct line. Broadcast to the blast zone. I want Titanus to hear me. First contact. Titanus stood still, but a signal reached him. A voice came through his core systems. This is General Marcus Lane. If you can hear me, Earth needs you. Again, Titanus responded. His voice sent waves through satellites. I hear you, General. Prepare your people. War is coming again. Arn looked up. You're going to fight? Titanus nodded. But not yet. I must become whole. What does that mean? There were others, 3 Titans. 1 fell. 1 vanished. I was the last. To win, I must find the lost. Alien landing. The seed bomb hit the center of the crater. It burrowed into the ground like a drill. Green light began to spread, forming roots, cracks, and strange growths. The land screamed as if alive. Trees near the zone died in seconds. Animals fled. Titanus watched it grow. We don't have time. He looked at Arn. You must guide me. How? You are the key. Only your mind can unlock the paths. Below, Arn blinked. You want me to go inside you? Titanus's chest opened, revealing a cockpit. Old, covered in dust. But glowing. EREN stepped inside. And the cockpit closed. Titanus online inside. On sat in a chair made of light and steel. Screens appeared. Symbols floated in the air. Titanus's voice echoed. Syncing complete. Pilot recognized. Suddenly, Owen felt everything. Trees moving, wind shifting. The weight of the world. He was seeing through Titanus's eyes. Titanus took a step, then another. The earth shook with each move. Let's begin. The fight begins. Titanus marched toward the crater. The alien growth was spreading fast. Sharp, green spires rose from the ground like thorns. From the middle, a new creature rose. Tall, insect-like, glowing green eyes. A seeker. The seeker screamed and leapt toward Titanus. Titanus raised his arm, and a massive cannon unfolded from it. Boom! The blast hit the seeker, throwing it back into the thorns. Another one came. Then another. Titanus moved fast, spinning, punching, blasting. Inside, Urin felt every motion. We are one now, Titanus said. But this is just the beginning. The alien response on the alien ship. The commanders saw Titanus fighting. He is regaining power. Another hissed. Then we must finish him before he finds the others. They activated a new command. Send the Reaper. Final Senedatanus stood over the defeated seekers. His armor was cracked. Smoke rose from his shoulders, but he still stood. On breathed hard inside the cockpit. We did it. No, Titanus said. This was just the first test. The sky turned dark. A shadow fell from above. Something huge was falling from space. Titanus looked up. The Reaper is here. The night sky over Earth turned dark, not from clouds, but from something falling. Something massive dropped from space. A black figure entered the atmosphere. Fire surrounded it, but it did not burn. Its shape grew larger as it fell. Its arms spread wide like wings. It had one goal: destroy Titanus. The Reaper had arrived. Inside the glowing cockpit of Titanus, young Vale gripped the controls tightly. The connection between him and the sleeping giant was stronger now. He could feel Titanus's energy, his thoughts, his pain. They had survived the first wave. But something much worse was coming. Arn looked up through Titanus's eyes. What is that? Titanus's voice came, deep and focused. The Reaper, a war-forged destroyer. It was made to kill titans like me. Aaron's heart beat faster. Can we beat it? Not alone, but we have no choice. General Lane reacts back at UNSC command. General Marcus Lane stood frozen, staring at the satellite screen. The Reaper was over 500 feet tall. Its arms were long and bladed. Its body was made of black metal and glowing green veins. It's bigger than anything we've seen, whispered Dr. Helen Voss. General Lane gave a sharp command. Warn all nearby zones. Evacuate every outpost. Titanus is our only line of defense now. A soldier asked, should we send backup? Lane shook his head. He doesn't need backup. He needs time. First clash, the Reaper landed with a boom, shaking the entire blast zone. Cracks spread across the land. Dust flew into the air. The seed bomb's green thorns twisted, responding to their master's arrival. Titanus stood still, his body covered in burn marks and dents, but he was ready. Stay sharp, Titanus warned. The Reaper is fast. The Reaper raised its arm and released a sonic scream. The force hit Titanus like a hammer, making him stumble backward. Ah, Arn groaned. He felt it too inside his skull. The Reaper didn't wait. It leapt forward, claws out. Titanus blocked the hit with his left arm, sparks flying. Clang! Metal crashed against metal. Arn shouted, let's hit back. Titanus punched hard, striking the Reaper's chest. The blow knocked it back a few steps, but it recovered instantly. The Reaper twisted its body unnaturally, then slashed again. Titanus dodged, but just barely. Earth watches all across the world. The battle was being broadcast. Drones recorded from far away, showing Titanus and the Reaper clashing like gods on an ancient battlefield. Children watched in shelters. Scientists watched in labs. Soldiers stood frozen at outposts. They were all thinking the same thing. This is not just a fight. It's the beginning of something bigger. Hidden power. Titanus blocked another attack. His armor cracked. One of his shoulder plates broke off. But he didn't fall. He's stronger than before, Titanus said. Aaron's voice came through, angry and desperate. Then we have to go beyond. Do you have anything else? Any other weapons? Titanus hesitated. Yes, but it's locked, hidden. I sealed it long ago. Why? Because it cost too much. I burned everything when I used it last. Arn yelled, we don't have time for fear. We need it now. Titanus growled, then take it from me. Use the key. Inside the cockpit, the mark on Aaron's hand glowed. He placed it on the center panel. The core pulsed. Lock disengaged. Suddenly, Titanus's body changed. Plates opened. New armor shifted into place. His fists glowed bright red like fire. Two massive shoulder blades unfolded. Titanus overdrive mode. Reversal. The Reaper charged again. This time, Titanus moved faster. Much faster. He ducked under the blade, spun, and landed a full punch to the Reaper's side. A loud crack rang out. The Reaper stumbled. And smiled. That worked. But the Reaper roared and released hundreds of small drones from its back, spike-shaped. Fast and deadly. Brace! Titanus warned. The spikes flew toward them. Titanus spun in a full circle, activating an energy shield. The spikes hit it, bursting into sparks. But some got through. One pierced Titanus's leg. Another hit his back. He dropped to one knee. Too many. Aaron's vision blurred. Deep connection inside the cockpit. Aaron reached out. Don't stop. Get up. You're not alone anymore. Titanus breathed deeply. I feel your will, strong, brave, that gives me strength. He stood back up. We rise together. With a burst of energy, Titanus punched the ground. Shockwaves threw the Reaper and the remaining drones back. The land cracked beneath them. Titanus charged. He lifted the Reaper by its neck and slammed it into the ground. Once. Twice. Boom. Boom. But the Reaper's eyes flashed green. It grabbed Titanus's head and shot a beam straight into his face. Titanus screamed. H. Across the world in labs around Earth, scientists were picking up something strange. Titanus's energy signature had changed. It wasn't just technology, it was partly organic. Human and machine. Dr. Vose gasped as she read the screen. Titanus isn't just a weapon, he's a person. General Lane stepped forward. Get me every file from the pre-era archives. I want to know who he used to be. Flash of the past inside the pain. Titanus remembered. A war. A family. A name, Arden Solus. That was his name before he became Titanus. A soldier. A leader. A man who chose to become more to save others. I remember. His eyes glowed gold. Aaron saw the name in his mind. Arden Solus, that's you? Yes, and I will not let them take Earth again. Final strike. Titanus jumped high, higher than anything that Psi should be able to. He came down with a full body punch, straight into the Reaper's chest. The Reaper screamed. Its body cracked. Titanus landed behind it, then grabbed both arms and ripped them off. Arn gasped. You did it! The Reaper tried to crawl, but Titanus lifted it into the air and charged his core. This is for Earth. He blasted a full core energy beam straight through the Reaper's chest. It exploded in midair. Ash fell like snow. Silence. After storm smoke filled the sky, Titanus stood in the center of the battlefield, breathing hard. His armor was damaged. His energy low, but he was alive. Arn sat quietly inside the cockpit, heart pounding. We won. Titanus nodded. For now. Suddenly, a signal played in their minds. Alien voice, cold and distant. Reaper unit destroyed. Activating final phase. The Armada is coming. The wind was quiet. The battlefield was still. Smoke rose from the broken land where Titanus had destroyed the Reaper. But peace did not last. From deep space, they were coming. A dark signal inside Titanus. Arn Vale sat still in the cockpit. His hands trembled. The Reaper was gone. The threat was over. Or so he thought. Suddenly, a new sound rang through Titanus's core. A low, alien frequency. They know, Titanus said. They saw what we did, and now they're responding. Arn frowned. What do you mean? Titanus's body shuddered. A screen flashed in the cockpit. A strange glowing map of Earth's orbit appeared. Dozens of red dots blinked. Then hundreds. Titanu spoke with a heavy voice. The Armada has awakened. In orbit high above Earth, behind the moon, a massive fleet came online. Long black ships, shaped like spears, opened their wings. Alien pilots hissed inside. One voice echoed through the command channel. Send them all. Earth will not resist. This time, the alien ships began moving fast and silent toward the blue planet. Below. UN's command responds at United Nations Space Command HQ. Alarms blared. Multiple hostiles entering atmosphere. Yelled a technician. Estimate, 200 warships. General Marcus Lane stared at the screen in silence. His face showed no panic, just preparation. He looked at Dr. Helen Voss. It's happening. She nodded slowly. This is no longer a skirmish. It's an invasion. Lane turned to his officers. Activate every orbital cannon. Ready all surface defenses. And send one message to Titanus. What message, sir? Lane spoke firmly. Tell him. We need the other Titans. Titanus's truth in the quiet after. The battle, Titanus sat on one knee. His chest still burned with golden light. Arn looked at him closely. Who were the others? Arn asked. You said there were 3 of you. Titanus nodded. 3 Titans built to protect Earth, 1 destroyed in battle. The second vanished. Vanished where? Underground. Into a deep sleep. He feared becoming like them. Like the aliens? No, like me. Arn was confused. But you're not like them. Titanus turned his head slowly. I was human once. But I changed too much. I lost myself. The other Titan feared that fate. A journey begins her and stood inside the cockpit. Then let's find him. Titanus looked down at him. Are you sure? Yes, we can't win this alone. You said it yourself. Titanus rose slowly, his joints cracking, armor sparking. Then we go to the Hollow. The Hollow? A place deep below the Earth, where old machines sleep. Earth burns meanwhile. The Armada reached Earth's upper skies. Bright green streaks flashed across the atmosphere. Cities across the globe began to panic. Sirens wailed. Drones flew overhead. Ships blocked the sky. A group of alien pods landed. In the desert. Inside them, strange 4-legged creatures with sharp claws and glowing chests. Stalkers. They spread fast, and they were only the beginning. Searching the Hollow. Titanus moved fast across the forest. Trees bent as he passed. Birds flew in panic. He reached a mountain, not a normal one. It was cracked at the top, as if split long ago. This is it, Titanus said. Long ago, a Titan went inside and never came back. Arn looked around. Is it dangerous? Yes, but we have no choice. Titanus raised his arm. A blue laser shot from his wrist, scanning the rock. A circular door appeared, covered in dirt and vines. Door unlocking. Stone shifted. Dust flew. The Hollow had opened. Deep below. Titanus stepped into the dark cave. Lights along the walls blinked. On one by one, showing a long tunnel, they walked deeper and deeper. Then they found it. A large chamber, silent, at the center. A massive figure stood frozen in a wall of crystal. Its body was silver. Its face was smooth, without a mouth. It looked peaceful. Ancient. This is Aegerin, Titanus said. Titan of shield and code, once the wisest of us. Arn stepped forward. Can we wake him? Only if he wishes. He shut himself off. Titanus placed his hand on a stone panel. Authority, Titanus, requesting link. Suddenly, the walls lit up. The frozen figure began to glow. Then its eyes opened. The second Titan, the Silver Titan, stepped out from the crystal, slow and graceful. He looked at Titanus. I hoped I would never see you again, Arn frowned. He doesn't sound happy. Titanus spoke calmly. Aegerin, the war has returned. The aliens are back. You know what that means. Aegerin turned to the boy. And you brought a child. How low you've fallen. Arn stepped forward. We're fighting for Earth. Don't you care? Aegerin looked into Aaron's eyes. You are the key? Strange. I thought your kind were gone. Titanus said, the key chose him. That is enough. I left for a reason, Aegerin replied. I saw what war did to us. We became monsters. Titanus spoke firmly. If we do nothing, Earth dies. If we stand together, just maybe we have a chance. Aegerin paused. Then nodded. Very well. One last fight. The battle begins back on the surface. Earth forces clashed with alien stalkers in burning cities. Soldiers fought bravely. Civilians hid underground. The sky filled with fire. Alien warships dropped energy bombs. Buildings fell. Just when all hope seemed lost, boom! A massive shape rose over the battlefield. It was Titanus, his body glowing gold. Beside him stood Aegerin, silver and bright. Together, they charged. Final scene from deep space. The alien commanders watched as two Titans marched together. The lead alien narrowed its eyes. Then we will send the third. Its clawed hand hovered over a red switch. Release the corrupted one. A screen showed a third Titan, one darker than both the others. Its body chained. Its eyes red. A whisper came through the ship. I hear them. Let me fight. The Earth was burning. Alien warships filled the sky, dropping bombs and beasts across cities. Human defenses were failing, but in the chaos, hope walked. Two giants, Titanus and Aegerin, stood tall, glowing with power. They were Earth's last line of defense, but far above, in the cold darkness of space, something far worse had just been released. In orbit, a terrible weapon inside the alien mothership. A cold fog filled the chamber. Chains rattled. A black figure stood in the shadows. Its body was once noble, once a Titan. Now it was broken. Corrupted, red eyes glowed from behind a cracked faceplate. Send him to Earth, ordered the alien commander. Let them face one of their own. With a screech, the figure launched. From the ship like a meteor, blazing through the atmosphere, Titanus senses it far below. Titanus and Aegerin were clearing a city from alien stalkers. Humans watched from shelters as the two Titans crushed the invaders with glowing strikes and sonic waves. But suddenly, Titanus stopped. Something's coming. Still linked in the cockpit, felt it too. A cold, sharp fear cut through his thoughts. It feels wrong, he said. Aegerin turned to the sky. And then they saw it. A burning black shape fell from the clouds, landing with a crash that shattered buildings nearby. Dust rose. Sirens wailed. And out of the smoke stepped the third Titan. The third one. The corrupted Titan was tall and wide, its body twisted and unnatural. Black cables ran across its arms like veins. Red lights glowed from its joints. Its voice was rough, almost human, but broken. Titanus, brother. Titanus stepped forward slowly. I thought you were dead, Arkan. Arn blinked. He's your brother? Once, Titanus answered. He was the strongest of us. But he fell. Aegerin spoke sharply. He didn't fall. He was turned, controlled. I told you this would happen. Arkan took a step forward. The ground cracked. You left me, he growled. Both of you. Battle of brothers, Arkan roared. And charged. Titanus blocked the first strike, but was thrown backward through a building. Crash! Aegerin launched a wall of energy from his hands, but Arkan sliced through it like paper. Owen shouted, We can't fight him like this. We have to try, Titanus replied. They charged together, Titanus from the front, Aegerin from the side. The battle shook the earth, fists slammed into armor. Energy blasts lit the sky. Arkan was faster than both Titans expected. He fought like a storm, but there was pain in his movements, as if he was fighting something inside himself. Civilian POV in a bunker beneath the battlefield. A child looked up at the screen showing the fight above. Are they winning? He asked his mother. She didn't answer. Her hands were shaking. One of the soldiers watching whispered, That third one. It's like a ghost. It was one of ours. Inside the mind of Arkan, inside the corrupted Titan, a voice cried out, small and weak. Stop. Let me go. Arkan's real self was still alive, buried deep beneath the alien code that twisted his body. Flashes of his past burned in his mind. He remembered standing with Titanus and Aegerin. Long ago, protecting Earth, laughing, fighting, then pain, capture, experiments, screaming. He was no longer himself, but a part of him still remembered who he had been. Arn reaches out. Titanus was on one knee, armor cracked, struggling to breathe. Inside the cockpit, Arn yelled, There's still something human in him. I can feel it. Titanus didn't answer. Let me try. Alan shouted. He stood in the core and placed his hand on the glowing link panel. Voice channel, open. Arkin, Arn said. You were a hero. You protected this world. Please don't let them control you. For a moment. Arkin froze. His red eyes flickered. I remember. The turning point, but the alien signal screamed in his mind. Kill, destroy, obey. Arkin roared and grabbed Aegiran, slamming him into a wall. Titanus shouted, ENOUGH. He launched himself forward, smashing into Arkin with a full-body tackle. The two titans tumbled across the city, crashing into towers and bridges. Dust covered the sky. Then silence. Aaron's plan inside the wreckage. Un coughed and stood. We have to stop him from the inside. Titanus's voice was weak. How? I'll go in. Into his mind. Titanus growled. That's madness. His core is corrupted. It will tear your mind apart. Un stared at the link panel. I have to try. He placed both hands on the core. Link request. ARKN. The cockpit darkened. Aaron's body collapsed. Inside. Arkin's Mindarin opened his eyes to a strange world, floating darkness, broken memories. And in the center Arkin, chained to a giant wall of red code. He looked up at Aaron. You are the key. Yes, Aaron said. And I'm here to free you. Arkin's eyes were full of sorrow. I can't be saved. You already are. You stopped. You hesitated. Arkin shook his head. If I break these chains, I'll destroy myself. Arn reached out. Then we'll break them together. Freedom back in the real world. Aegiran stood with one arm damaged. The corrupted titan stood frozen. Then, a pulse of white light. The red glow faded from Arkin's body. He took one step forward, then fell to his knees. Tinus caught him. Brother. Arkin looked up. I'm sorry. Titanus held him steady. You're home. Aftermath. The battle was over for now. Titanus, Aegiran, and Arkin stood side by side, scarred but alive. Humans around the world watched in silence. For the first time in centuries, all three titans had returned. Final scene. Enemy reaction on the alien mothership. The commander snarled. They have awakened the three. Another voice spoke behind him. Then it is time to bring the God Engine. The screen showed a massive moon-sized shape in space. Slowly coming alive, the Earth had survived for now. Titanus, Aegiran, and Arkin stood together once more. The three titans, once brothers, now allies again. But deep in space, something ancient was moving, something built not to invade but to erase. The God Engine had awakened. A shadow in space. It looked like a moon, cold, silent, but it wasn't natural. Its surface was covered with black towers and glowing red cracks. Long tentacle-like arms stretched around its body. At the center, a giant eye slowly opened. They are not afraid, the alien commander said. Then we will teach them to kneel. The God Engine began charging, on Earth. The calm before the storming. A cleared-out field near the ruins of New Berlin. Titanus stood, damaged but tall. Aegiran was repairing his systems. Arkin sat quietly, watching the sky. Arn stood outside Titanus, breathing the fresh air. He felt something coming. Something bigger than everything they'd faced so far. They're going to send more, he whispered. Titanus's voice echoed from within. Not more, worse. Titanus explains. That night, Arn sat near a small fire. A few surviving soldiers cooked food, shared water, and quietly celebrated the victory over the alien ground forces. But Titanus spoke in Aaron's mind. The God Engine is not a fleet. It is a weapon. What kind of weapon? Arn asked. It was made to erase entire civilizations, planets, stars. Can we stop it? I do not know. Then we try, Arn said, gripping a broken piece of Titanus's armor like a shield. The signal. The next morning, a global alert hit every satellite and screen across the planet. Warning: large unidentified object entering orbit, estimated mass 1/3. The moon impact in 16-hour. Saren stood in front of the broadcast tower with Adrian, Titanus, and Arkan beside him. He stared at the camera. This is not the end of Earth. This is the beginning of our stand. We fight together. The broadcast spread across every human outpost. From New York to the Himalayas. Hope was returning. The God engine speaks suddenly. All human communication stopped. Every device turned black. Then a voice came through, deep, cold, emotionless. You had a chance to submit. You chose defiance. Now you will be erased. A red beam shot from the sky, vaporizing. A mountain range. Arn clenched his fists. We need to hit back. The Titans prepared deep beneath the ground, in a forgotten vault. Adrian unlocked ancient armor. He returned with upgraded shields and energy cores. Titanus's golden glow burned brighter. Arkan, once broken, now stood with fire in his eyes, stronger than ever. We fight as one, said Titanus. Brothers again, Adrian added. Let's finish it. Arkan growled. The final mission. Enter the sky. The UNGC launched its final operation, Project SkyFire. It had one goal: send the 3 Titans into orbit to face the God engine directly. Massive rockets were attached to each Titan's legs and backs. Arn climbed into Titanus's core. The link shimmered. Ready? Always. The countdown began. 3, 2, 1. Leaf to fire roared across the earth as the 3 Titans shot into the sky, toward the black shape waiting above. In orbit. The first clash space was silent but deadly. As soon as the Titans reached the edge of Earth's atmosphere, the God engine reacted. Its giant eye opened wide, and red beams shot toward them. Boom! Adrian raised a shield to block one blast. Arkan flew around the other side, slamming into the weapon's outer shell. Titanus dodged the attacks, heading straight toward the eye. But the God engine was learning. Inside the God engine, suddenly, a portal opened beneath Titanus. It pulled him inside. Arn screamed. Where are we? They landed inside a strange black room, endless and full of cables, metal, and glowing red orbs. Welcome, a voice said, to your final lesson. Dozens of alien creatures formed from energy appeared. Titanus got ready to fight. Arn whispered, no more running. The mind battle as Titanus fought the creatures. Owen felt something strange. He was being pulled into a memory, but not his own. He saw Earth thousands of years ago. Alien ships, fire, death. He saw 3 Titans created by scientists, humans, and then abandoned when peace came, then betrayal. The aliens took one of the Titans, Arkan. We were never machines, Titanus whispered. We were meant to be Earth's soul. And the God engine? It was the first machine the aliens ever made to destroy planets like Earth. Breaking the machine back outside, Adrian and Arkan slammed into the God engine's core. Its armor began to crack. Titanus burst through from the inside, holding a glowing red orb. This is its heart. Arkan charged it with raw power. Adrian aimed his final code pulse. Arn screamed, now! All 3 Titans fired their energy at once. The orb cracked, then shattered. The God engine let out a scream across the stars. Explosion red. Fire burst across the sky. The God engine broke into pieces, slowly falling toward the sun. The alien fleet went silent. On Earth, humans watched the sky light up. Cheers rose. Hope returned. One last choice, but inside Titanus, Arn felt weak. The energy? It's too much, he said. Titanus's systems were overloading. Arkan floated nearby, his armor melting. We can't survive re-entry, Adrian said. Eren had one idea. Launch me back to Earth. Titanus hesitated. Without you, I die, Arn smiled. Then let me live for all of us. Titanus used the last of his energy to eject Auron in a capsule toward Earth. Then, as fire swallowed space, the Titans were gone. Earth. Days later, Eren awoke in a hospital bed. The sky outside was clear. No more alien ships. No red beams. People whispered the legend. 3 Titans. 3 brothers, 1 human who brought them back. Owen stood and looked at the stars. He whispered, "Thank you." Final scene. Far away. Deep in another galaxy, a small probe sent a message. "God engine, destroyed." A new voice replied. Then we moved to Phase 2. Massive alien figure stepped from the shadows, taller than any Titan. "Let Earth celebrate. It won't last long." Recap. Earth was almost destroyed. The God engine, a planet-killing machine, was defeated by 3 ancient Titans, Titanus, Aegiren, and Arkan, with the help of a human boy, Aeon. But in space, far away, something worse had awakened, that the true master had arrived. Not a machine, not a weapon, but a god. 1 month later, Eren walked through the ruins of a rebuilt city. Flags waved, children played. For the first time in years, Earth was free. Or so people believed, but every night, Arn saw it in his dreams. A shadow, a hand made of stars, a whisper that chilled the sky. Phase 2 has begun. He felt it. The war wasn't over. Deep space. The true enemy across the stars. A creature stood above a dying world. Tall, gray-blue skin. A face with no eyes, only a mouth that spoke and thought. This was Vatsrun, the architect of extinction. He had created the God engine. He had destroyed 47 civilizations. Now, Earth was next. They resist. Let us see if they can survive me. He opened his hands and space itself cracked. Earth's warning global satellites blinked out. Gravity twisted. The moon turned red. Warning. Unknown cosmic disturbance approaching. At the same time, strange pulses were felt underground, where Titanus had fallen. The ground shook. People ran in fear. Scientists tried to explain it, but Arn, he ran toward it. Titanus returns in the crater where Titanus had burned away. Something rose, a faint glow, sparks, then a voice. Arn. Titanus's body reformed from glowing rock and energy. Not metal, not machine. He was now part of the Earth itself. I am still here, but I am not alone. Arkan rose behind him, forged from black crystal and red fire. Aegiren too, rebuilt from liquid metal and stormlight. The Titans were reborn, but different, more than machines. We are no longer tools, Titanus said. We are Earth's wrath. The final arrival. The sky tore open. A massive black gateway appeared over the ocean. And through it came Vatsrun, floating, his body bigger than any mountain. He didn't need a ship. He was the ship. Every step he took turned water to fire. His voice echoed across Earth without sound. This planet is strong. I will make it scream. The last plan world leaders, soldiers, scientists gathered. But all looked to one person. Aeon. He had become the voice of the Titans. The key. What do we do? A general asked. Arn stood beside Titanus. We fight, not to survive, but to protect what's left. The battle begins. Titanus launched into the sky, crashing into Vatsrun's arm. Aegiren fired sonic waves that cracked the alien's outer shell. Arkan summoned heat that melted steel and screamed into the stars. But Vatsrun didn't fall. You fight like children, he said. I erase gods. He grabbed Arkan and threw him through 3 mountain ranges. He snapped Aegiren's wings with one blast of energy. Arn shouted from the core. We're losing. Not yet, Titanus said. He glowed brighter, every part of him burning gold. Arn, you must do more than pilot. You must merge. The final Mergiran stepped into the Titan's heart. Link, complete merge in core, and HOST. Suddenly, Eren's mind expanded. He saw everything: stars, energy, time, even death. He became Titan. His voice boomed through the air. This ends now. He flew forward, dodging cosmic blasts, slamming into Vatsrune's chest. Behind him, Arkan and Aegerin rose again. The three brothers circled the enemy, moving as one. Ready your hearts, Arntitanus said. The core attack they charged, one final time, power fused into a single beam of light and force. Final strike. Planets HFY. To the blast hit Vatsrune directly. His scream split clouds, oceans, and even the stars. His body cracked, then shattered into cosmic dust. Silence. The sky went still. The stars returned. No more red lights. No more whispers. Only peace. Aftermath. Earth had survived again, but not without cost. Titanus's body stood still, frozen like a statue. Inside, An lay unconscious, silent, peaceful. People built a temple around the fallen Titans, calling it the Heart of Earth. Years later, a child stood beside his father in front of the statue. Did they really stop a god? He asked. The father nodded. Yes, but not because they were machines. Because they remembered what it meant to be human. Final scene. In space, far beyond the stars. A small flicker of gold moved in the dark. Aaron's voice echoed. We are still watching. We are still here. The screen fades to black. Humanity, F***, yeah.